program you do has got to be designed to last. It has to be designed to fit your life. And you may have to adjust things, but it's got to be yours. Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Dr. Andrea Christian Parks and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad you're here. It is now the 24th of January, and if you missed the first webinar, the second one is tonight. So if you are not already registered, before you miss out on your chance, go to www.drandreachristianparks.com and register for the webinar. If you can't be there tonight, there'll be a replay sent to you, but you don't want to miss the chance to get in there. Now, the other thing up front, before you forget, Weight Loss for Black Professionals, my weight loss course is starting on the 30th. If you already want to be in there, the class is filling up. There are not that many spots left. If you already know you want it, now's the time. Get in there, register. You will get some materials to get started. And then on the 30th, class starts. And you will get everything you need to be successful at permanent weight loss. Okay, today, what are we talking about? We are talking about, and I talked about this some in the previous weeks. If you hadn't seen the previous 2 weeks, this January course builds, okay? So the first week we talked about make a decision. If this is your year, 2023 is the year you are going to lose this weight, you have to decide. That's number one. You have to decide. Okay. And how do we do that? That's what I talked about in week 1. Week number 2, what did we talk about? We talked about doing things differently. You got to do things differently. You cannot do what you've always done. You're going to get the same results you've always gotten. We're trying to go for permanent weight loss. We're trying to get this problem solved for the last time. We got to do things differently. Okay. This week, we're going to talk about creating a good enough plan. Now, what do I mean by good enough? That sounds kind of designed to fail. It's not. And let me tell you why. Because what is really designed to fail is what we generally do, which is we go out, we get in some sort of a diet program. Somebody else has seemingly done all this research, all this creation. They've pulled all this information together. They've looked at the science and they've looked at the articles and yeah. I've done all that too. And as a physician, honestly, so much of what we read and know about weight loss, even within the nutrition world, still comes back down to the same bottom line, which is, can you do, not know, do what you need to do to lose the weight? That's where the sticking point comes. There's so much information out there. You can Google any diet you want. There's so much information. And yet the problem is not that we don't have enough information or that we don't know enough. We can't implement it. We can't change our patterns of doing to the new patterns of doing that make us successful. This is why I became a coach, because I want to help people do what they need to do to get to their goal. All that being said, we go out, we buy a plan, we buy a program, we think, okay, someone has already done all the work for me and created this whole thing, and they organized it and they put it together, and I'm going to take their program and the work they've done and use it. Makes sense. Except, and this is a big except, we're taking someone else's plan and someone else's program and trying to fit it on our life. That's where things fall apart, because someone else doesn't know your life. Someone else can't take your life and make their program fit in it. Now, you might be able to take someone else's diet plan and fit it in your life. The question is, how long can you get it in there and how long can you sustain it? And if the answer is not forever, it's not the program for you. Why? Because as soon as you stop doing the program, your weight will come right back. Because you'll go back to the normal patterns. The ways you do things now that have you at the weight you are now is what you will go back to. And usually, and you know I'm telling the truth, not only will you regain your weight, but you'll regain that, plus it'll bring 5 or 10 more pounds from its friends. I don't know, just bring more weight. Just let's all come on, regain plus. It's the most frustrating thing. So whatever program you do has got to be designed to last. It has to be designed to fit your life. And you may have to adjust things, but it's got to be yours. So you can't take someone else's program, drop it on top of your life and go, yeah, this will work. It doesn't. Okay. So there are two parts that you need in creating your plan. All right. Number 1, choose what you will do. Now, most programs are designed to tell you what not to do. Don't eat this, don't eat that, cut out this, cut out that. That's all nice, but that's not really a plan. That's elimination. What you want to decide is, what will you do? I will eat 2 meals a day. I will do intermittent fasting because I don't really need breakfast. I'm happy to start eating at lunchtime. I will observe hunger and fullness. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know I teach you cannot lose weight eating on anybody's schedule or eating on anybody's clock or any of that. Your body must dictate when you eat, and that must be true physical hunger. Nothing else. You also cannot overeat. You cannot stuff yourself. You must observe polite fullness when you stop eating. And it's not going to be as much as you're used to eating, and it may mean there's still food on your plate. And all of that is perfectly fine. So you may decide, I am going to observe hunger and fullness. Okay, what else? What exceptions will you make? Will you make an exception for birthday cakes? Now, not just because you went to the store and bought a cake. No, because there's a birthday party. Will you have cake if there's a birthday party? Will you plan out your meals? And I don't mean making a week-long, very complicated, difficult meal plan. I mean, will you decide in advance what you're going to eat and then stick to it? Instead of, oh, well, there's pizza today for lunch at the such and such, or I guess I'll just do, and you kind of, every day it's something new because you haven't really made an actual plan. That's what you will do. Okay? Now, the key to the plan of choosing what you will do is not making a perfect plan. Perfection is an illusion. I read a quote recently that said, perfection is the mountain with no peak. Like, you never get to the top. You will not be perfect. And so perfect is not the goal. Commitment is the goal. Sticking as close to the plan as you can is the goal. Making a plan is the goal. And then working the plan, but not perfection. So when we try to go for perfection, as soon as there's any sort of not perfection, then we decide we failed, and then we are off the plan, and then we're starting over. That is a waste of your time. It doesn't get you any closer to your goal any faster. Diet switching doesn't work. So commitment to a doable plan, which is your good enough plan, is exactly what gets you there faster. It may feel like it's a little slower, but the consistency and the commitment is the key. Okay. Now, part number 2 of creating a good enough plan is, how will you fit it into your life? So let's say, for example, that you created a plan. You said, I'm going to eat 2 meals a day. I'm going to eat primarily fruits and vegetables. I really feel good on more of a plant-based diet. Now, you don't have to do that. You could decide I'm going to have protein and veggies each meal, animal protein and veggies each meal, whatever, it doesn't matter. But whatever you've decided, you've made this plan, this is how you're going to do it. How are you going to get that done? Here's what happens. Most of the time we make a plan, or we take a plan from someone else, and then we decide we'll just figure it out. We'll just gut it out. And what happens is we suck it up and try to get something done. And the problem is we have no real long-term way to make it work. So what I mean by how will you fit it into your life is, what are you going to do to make sure that the plan you've created actually happens? Are you going to food prep on the weekends? Will you buy food shortcuts like bag salads or chopped up vegetables at the grocery store? Will you make like a particular sort of list of basic meals? Like, these are the 5 or 7 main meals. They're quick. I eat these are regular. I enjoy them, and they're fast. I don't need a recipe for them. And I'll just rinse and repeat. Like, I'll make this one on Sundays, this one on Wednesday, and then that probably will last me that week. And then the next week I'll throw in 2 different ones. And, you know, some people will make several pieces of chicken and a couple of different kinds of veggies and eat off of that for a few days. Whatever works. But the question is, what are you going to do to make this fit in your life? Are you going to order one of those meal plan delivery boxes? I mean, that has an expense, but for some people that fits better in their life because it's pre-portioned, it's pre-packaged, it's, you know, a lot of the work is done and you have time for it. Here's the thing, it doesn't matter. The issue is that you choose a solution that works for you, whatever the solution is, okay? It can't be something that you can only sustain for a little while, because that's how long it will work. You really want to pick something that you can work in your life. I remember I had a client one time who said, I go to Chick-fil-A multiple times a week, so I'm not going to change that. I said, okay, that's fine. And so we worked with, if you're going to Chick-fil-A, what is it that you want? What is it that you're going to plan to eat? And I kid you not, even with going to Chick-fil-A multiple times a week, she still was losing weight successfully. The issue is, how do you do what you must do? And no, I'm not telling you eat at drive-thrus, like make a plan around that. Most people don't want that though. I've never met a person who said, yeah, I really like to eat McDonald's every day. And nothing, no shade against McDonald's, but just most people don't, that's not how they feel best. It's it's an occasional treat. That's fine. You can put that in your plan, but not as a routine. Most people, A, don't feel good, and B, they don't want to eat like that anyway. So you have to decide what you will do and what will work for you. I'll tell you right now, one of my favorite outsourcings is because I have teenagers, I have decided that they cook. I taught them to cook. It did take a lot of work, energy, effort. I still have to be after them, but they will cook. Now, everything they cook is not what I want, but cooking for me is easy. Cooking for me plus all of them plus my husband, not easy. So I let them do that heavy lifting. That's my favorite outsourcing because that takes a bunch of weight off of me and I can do other things with my time, like take care of me. Okay? You might have little kids. That might not work for you. You might not have the time and energy to devote to teaching a bunch of knuckleheaded teenagers how to cook. You might. So I just throw that out there as an idea. The issue is, and this is the coach hack, okay? You can go ahead and list all the reasons why something won't work. That's fine. That doesn't help you. All that does is close the door in your mind to a solution. If you want a solution, what will work in my life is the question that you want to ask your brain. Expect it to stutter. Expect it not to have right off the bat all the answers. Give it a little bit of time. Keep asking the question. Put your brain to work and it will solve the issue for you. It will give you ideas. It will give you options. Ask for your brain's help. That's your coach tip. That's your coach hack for today. All right. We're done. I'm going to wrap this up real quick. Just to remember, if you are not registered for tonight's webinar and you need to be, get in there. Go to www.drandreachristianparks.com. If you want to be in weight loss for Black professionals, I'm not kidding. Don't wait. It's the saddest thing once we start class and someone emails me and says, oh, I meant to, can I, and we're already into the whole thing. It's so, don't be that. Don't be in that spot. I don't want that for you. Okay? All right. I will see you next week, and we will wrap January up with a nice big old bow. And any of you who have decided to jump out there, do things differently, get bold, get committed, are going to be in class already by the time we meet next week. So I'll see you next week on the 31st. Talk to y'all soon. Bye.